In 2023, one man collected over $500 million in personal dividends. He didn't build a factory. He didn't found a tech giant. He didn't appear on a single magazine cover. He just owned a website, and almost nobody knows his name. But here's the part that should make you stop. That website, the one quietly making him one of the wealthiest people on earth, has been linked to rape footage, to exploitation, to children, and it's still running, right now, processing millions of dollars every single hour. This is the real story of OnlyFans, and once you understand how it actually works, you won't be able to look at the internet the same way again. To understand what OnlyFans really built, you need to go back to a moment in history that most people have completely forgotten. It's 2016, and the creator economy is bleeding out. Musicians with 100 million streams are taking home $300. Athletes in niche sports are watching their content stolen, shared across platforms they don't control, generating millions of views for companies that never paid them a cent. Artists, comedians, independent creators of every kind, building massive audiences on platforms that treated them like raw material. The internet had promised them freedom. What it gave them was a factory floor. And into that moment stepped a quiet British entrepreneur named Timothy Stokely. Not with a revolution, not with a billion-dollar idea, with a single question. What if the fans just paid directly? No advertisers, no algorithms, no gatekeepers deciding who deserved to earn a living. Just a creator, a fan, money moving between them. He launched OnlyFans in 2016 with almost no funding, no press, and no fanfare. And for the first 2 years, almost nothing happened. But something was coming, something nobody planned for. The world shut down overnight. Venues closed, incomes collapsed. Millions of people found themselves isolated, financially desperate, and staring at a phone with nowhere to go and nothing to lose. And OnlyFans was waiting. Adult content creators flooded in first. Then mainstream creators followed. Then musicians who couldn't afford tour buses on streaming royalties. Then athletes in sports that never paid fairly. Then celebrities looking for a direct line to their most loyal fans. The platform didn't manufacture that moment. It didn't need to. It just had to be there. And the numbers that followed were almost impossible to comprehend. Creator signups reportedly surged over 500% in a single year. The platform crossed 100 million registered users. Transaction volume passed $2 billion annually. Today, OnlyFans has 380 million registered users, more than the entire population of the United States. It has paid its creators over $20 billion in total, and it has never, not once, made a single piece of content itself. So how does a platform that produces nothing generate profit margins of 50%? That's where the story gets dark. The model is almost offensively simple. OnlyFans takes 20% of every transaction that flows through its platform. Every subscription, every tip, every private message with a price, every piece of exclusive content exchanged between a creator and a fan. 20 cents of every dollar. Automatically, every second of every day. The creator does the work, the fan pays, the platform collects, and the critical detail, the one that makes this model so extraordinarily powerful, is that OnlyFans doesn't need any individual creator to succeed. It doesn't matter who rises or falls, who goes viral or disappears. The platform profits from sheer aggregate volume, hundreds of millions of users, millions of creators, billions of microtransactions. Net revenue sits between $1.2 and $1.4 billion annually. Profit sits at roughly half that, and the overwhelming majority flows to one man. His name is Leonid Radvinsky, and he has worked very hard to make sure you've never heard of him. He doesn't give interviews, he doesn't attend conferences, he doesn't post publicly. He has constructed, with apparent deliberateness, a wall of complete invisibility between himself and the platform that made him a billionaire. What investigators have managed to piece together is this. Radvinsky is an engineer who made his early money building adult webcam sites in the early 2000s, the previous generation of the same industry. In 2018, he quietly acquired a majority stake in OnlyFans from founder Timothy Stokely, and since that moment, He has collected hundreds of millions of dollars in personal dividends annually from a platform most people still fundamentally misunderstand. But Radvinsky's invisibility isn't just a personality preference. It may be a necessity, because what has been discovered inside OnlyFans, beneath the creator economy branding, beneath the empowerment messaging, beneath the billions in payouts, is something that no amount of good PR has been able to fully bury. The BBC investigated it. Reuters investigated it. And what they uncovered was difficult to read. Non-consensual videos appearing on the platform. A police report from a woman who alleged that footage of her assault was uploaded and monetized there. Content involving minors. Not on the fringes, not in isolated incidents, but documented, reported, and attributed directly to the platform by government bodies. A 2024 report by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children attributed hundreds of reports of suspected child sexual exploitation to OnlyFans. In 2025, regulators fined the platform over £1 million for failures in age verification. OnlyFans accepted the findings, promised reform, updated its policies, and kept growing. The company argues, and this matters, that its verification process is among the most rigorous in the industry. Government ID selfie confirmation, social security numbers, periodic identity checks. They argue they go further than most social media platforms ever have. But critics point to a contradiction that no policy update has resolved. The platform generates more revenue when more transactions happen faster, and the infrastructure required to slow down, to verify carefully, to review thoroughly, to catch what shouldn't be there, runs directly against that incentive. The machine is built to move money, not to stop it. And that machine is designed, whether intentionally or not, to be almost impossible to leave. Creators on OnlyFans don't own their audiences. The subscriber data belongs to the platform. If your account disappears tomorrow, the audience you spent years building disappears with it. No export, no backup, no safety net. There is no algorithm surfacing your content to new fans. Growth requires you to market yourself on other platforms for free, funneling traffic toward a system that takes 20% of everything it touches. And the income, according to analysts, follows one of the most extreme earning distributions in the creator economy. A tiny fraction at the top earn extraordinary money. The vast majority earn far less than they expected, but they stay because of a mechanism that behavioral psychologists have studied for decades. Variable reward. The same principle behind slot machines, behind gambling, behind every system ever engineered to keep people inside it, long past the point where rational calculation would tell them to leave. You can't know what next month will bring. You can't know which post will break through. You can't know which subscriber will change everything. But the possibility is always there. And possibility, not certainty, is the most addictive substance ever discovered. On the subscriber side, the psychology runs even deeper. Reports suggest that what drives spending on OnlyFans isn't content in the traditional sense. It's the sensation of intimacy, of being seen by someone who would otherwise be unreachable, of receiving a message that feels personal, even when the infrastructure generating it is entirely transactional. People don't pay for what they see, they pay for how it makes them feel, and that feeling is worth billions. In 2021, OnlyFans announced it would ban explicit content. Banking partners were pulling away. Payment processors were applying pressure. The company had no choice, they said. The creator backlash was immediate and total. Hundreds of thousands of creators threatened to leave. The revenue implications were catastrophic. Within 72 hours, the decision was reversed. It looked like a victory for creators, proof that the people inside the machine had real power over it. But read it more carefully. The reversal didn't happen because OnlyFans valued its creators. It happened because without them, the 20% dried up. The machine needed them to keep running. And yet, after that moment of apparent leverage, nothing structurally changed. The ownership of audience data remained with the platform. The 20% remained. The invisibility of the man collecting it remained, because the infrastructure was already embedded, already essential, already inescapable. And infrastructure, once it becomes the only road, doesn't need to negotiate. Here's what this whole story actually is. OnlyFans is not a creator platform. It is not a content company. It is not a technology innovator. It is a toll booth, positioned at the intersection of two of the most powerful human forces on Earth, the need to earn and the need to connect, with a quiet, invisible man collecting 20% of everything that passes through. The creators create. The fans pay. The regulators investigate. The controversies cycle. The headlines rise and fall. And the machine keeps running, quietly, profitably, relentlessly. Radvinsky reportedly became a billionaire without most people ever learning his name. The platform he owns has been linked to some of the most serious content violations on the internet. It has been fined, investigated, condemned, and last year, it processed more money than ever before. So here is the question that this story leaves you with. Not whether OnlyFans is good or bad. Not whether creators are exploited or empowered. Not whether the model is brilliant or predatory. The real question is this: in a world where the most profitable position is always between people, between their need to earn and their need to connect, who is actually in control? Because it isn't the creators, it isn't the fans, and it was never the content. It was always the man you've never heard of, collecting his 20% in complete silence.